daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Manchester United Podcasts solo episode for you guys today. My name is Niall Hannigan and 2-2 away to Spurs. Not too bad, but a bit disappointing not to come away with the 3 points as well. I was lucky to be at the game yesterday, early kickoff, 12:30. And going into it was feeling quite confident. You know, obviously had the 3 wins on the bounce and then came away with a point against Forest as well. 3 out of 4 wins. And yeah, feeling really positive. And when I saw the starting lineup, I thought it was a little bit defensive in a way, just with Mazraoui playing in that right wing back role. Was happy to have Dargu back in the left wing back, and then the back three. Kind of happy for Maguire as well. I think he's been really good this season. So, I wasn't kind of put off at all by Yoro not starting. So happy to have Maguire in the middle, and then De Ligt on the right hand side with Luke Shaw on the left. And I was a bit concerned about us in terms of hold up play with Cunha kind of playing as a false nine. That we would be kind of lacking a bit of structure in the team as well, not having that kind of focal point to play off. But yeah, going into the game then, I suppose Spurs weren't great. You know, they probably had more possession of the ball in the first half, but weren't really doing anything with it. And when we did get the ball, we were decisive at what we were doing. Everything good that we did just came through Mbeumo. He's absolutely excellent. He just does and gets something for the team every time he gets the ball, whether that's just, you know, getting us up the pitch in terms of winning throw-ins, going up the pitch and winning fouls. And he was playing off the left as well to kind of give Ahmad the freedom of playing on the right within that 10 role. And you would kind of say, you know, that's his unfavoured side, but he's just as effective on that side and did absolutely excellently. And he was brilliant all game as well. But yeah, he was definitely the shining light in the first half for us. And definitely fully deserved his goal. You know, had, like I was saying, working really, really hard on the left-hand side. And then when we did get into the final third, I thought our kind of combinations and flicks around that with Bruno, Ahmad, Cunha and Mbeumo, you know, 4 like quality technically good players to kind of play off each other was really, really good. And when we did get up there, it wasn't a lot, but when we did, we were creating chances. And we're unlucky not to have 1 or 2 more on target, if not in the net. But yeah, Mbeumo's goal was absolutely excellent. You know, a bit of sustained kind of an attack. And then we had Ahmad kind of dink it in, perfect little ball for Mbeumo to head home. And you're thinking, perfect. Like, you know, you could feel the confidence throughout the team where we can actually go and win these games. You know, we've won 3 out of the last 4. We're playing okay, but we're creating chances and we're actually able to take them as well with the improvement in personnel that we've had this season. And Mbeumo just kind of continued his form with, you know, Player of the Month and Manager of the Month awards coming out over the last couple of days. And for him to kind of carry in that vein of form was incredible. So yeah, sitting in the Spurs end, trying to kind of contain the excitement with that one. But yeah, it was great to see. And yeah, we kind of held on then till halftime. I suppose it was clear that Spurs would have to change something at halftime. You could feel the kind of atmosphere of the stadium as well, where, you know, we heard the boos after the game against Chelsea. We saw some of the players, Van de Ven and Jed Spence, quite frustrated with the manager as well after that game in quite a visible way. And you could kind of sense the tension around the stadium where things did really, really need to change. And halftime couldn't have come quick enough for Spurs to kind of get in and to kind of rejig their team a bit, I suppose, to come out a bit more offensively. And I suppose from a United perspective, happy to get in at the break, 1-0 up. Like I said, we weren't absolutely dominating the game with the ball. It's just Spurs weren't really creating anything either, and we were able to defend it quite easily, really. I thought Xavi Simons was quite good for them throughout the game. And I haven't been too convinced about him this season, but he was causing us a bit of trouble in between the lines. I suppose that bit of a flaw where we only have 2 in midfield with Bruno and Casemiro. He was kind of finding pockets and driving at the defence and causing issues throughout the game. And I think the fans kind of agreed with that, where when he was taken off, eventually in the second half, there was proper groans and boos around the stadium for Thomas Frank's decision on that one. So definitely a player that was causing us issues. But like I said, a very, very solid first half. Mbeumo continuing his form was absolutely brilliant. We had Dorgu that was going quite well on the left-hand side with him. Ahmad was excellent as well, causing trouble, to be honest, the whole time, and putting the defence on the back foot, like exactly what you want. And yeah, it was a really solid first half, and hoping that we could kind of keep that going into the second half then. Against this team, Spurs were really, really lacking confidence at the moment. We'll take a quick break there. I'll be back with a bit more analysis of how I thought the second half went against Spurs yesterday.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
Your body is unique, and Global Sports Podcast Network has partnered with Bioniq, the world's most personalised supplements. Bioniq provide 100% tailor-made supplements designed to deliver precisely what your body needs at exactly the right levels to optimize your health. No guessing. So click the link in the show notes. Use the code GSPN2025 for 40% off your first month's subscription. Bioniq. Don't settle for off-the-shelf solutions made for just anybody. Get what's right for you right now. Your body.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
United started the second half a bit like they had played in the first half. They were solid, but nothing, to get you off your feet, and nothing too exciting. Didn't create loads. But what I really liked was the substitution then that Amarin made. So we took Mazraoui off, we moved Ahmad into right wing back and brought on Sesko. And I think at that stage, you can argue between Maguire and Yoro in the back three, but at the moment, that is probably our strongest 11 that he had on the pitch for those 10 minutes. And it was great to see, that Amarim had decided at 1-0 up that he wanted his team to push on and didn't want to sit back. But what was interesting was, even though that attacking substitution was made, the team itself didn't really play to what the manager had switched his team towards. They started to play more conservatively. That's a difficult word to say. They started to, have their attacking players a bit more isolated, where when they did have the ball up high on the left-hand side with Mbeumo and Sesko kind of linking up, the whole team weren't up with them. And then you could sense as it went into the 65th, 70th minute, you could just sense that United really, really wanted to just hold on for that 1-0 win. We did have a couple of opportunities where, Mount was able to do quite well when he came on and slipped Sesko in for a couple of chances, and you're thinking, we really need this second goal just to kind of kill off the game, because, the atmosphere started to change. Spurs started to bring on a few more attacking players, starting from half-time, bringing on an attacking winger and also bringing on Kolo Muani. And then as the game crept on, like I mentioned, they brought off Xavi Simons, they bring on Tell, they bring on Bentancur. They started to bring more footballers onto the pitch, who were, able to dominate the ball a bit more and play a bit more attacking. And we just kept sinking deeper and deeper. And it was really, really difficult to kind of get out at that stage. And you did kind of fear the worst, because the crowd was getting up. Spurs had more attacking players on the pitch. They were starting to kind of have that sustained pressure within the final third, which is always a concern. One kind of mistake there when you're really pinned back can open up the game. And Udogie was making a really big impact on the left-hand side. And yeah, it was just this kind of ominous feeling, I suppose, around the stadium from a United perspective that, we might actually concede here. And look, when that ball came into Tell and he rocketed into the roof of the net, you're just thinking, oh, no, here we go. Like, there's just no way that the team's going to be able to pick itself back up again here to actually create something and try and get ahead again. And then the second goal goes in, and you have Richarlison reeling off into the corner with the shirt off after getting the tiniest of touches with his head to get it into the corner. And you're just thinking, this can't be happening. United don't deserve to lose this, but Spurs definitely don't deserve to win it. It was such a poor performance from them as well. They had a short spell of sustained pressure and happened to get a couple of goals from it. Le Mans was making a couple of good saves before that, so you could kind of sense the pressure building, but it was absolutely gutting. Honestly, the clocks drifted into the 90th minute there, and after scoring the winner, what we thought, and it was just absolutely gutting to take that. And at this stage we were down to 10 men because we'd made all our substitutions. Sesko then came off injured. You're thinking that's it, curtains, and of course main man throughout the whole game, Mbeumo, is just kind of giving the ball on the left hand side, hoping to kind of create something, and out of nothing he wins a corner up far on the left hand side. He did absolutely excellently, and we just need one more chance. You're thinking back of all the times we've got late winners, and obviously there was loads of added time with 6 minutes, so there was always a chance. And then when Bruno floats that into the back post and De Ligt heads it, and Vicario kind of flapping in the wind trying to keep it out. Oh, absolutely incredible. It was so difficult to try and maintain composure within that stand, but absolutely brilliant. I mean, obviously disappointed that we couldn't hold on and win the game. And I think it was there first. We should have pushed on more in terms of an attitude side of things from the team, but to have the character to come back in and kind of keep pushing, and it was nothing more than De Ligt deserved. He was absolutely colossal, throughout the game. Was smashing into Richarlison the whole time in the first half, especially playing on the right of the back three. He was super. And then when Yoro came on for Maguire, he was playing quite well in the centre as well. So, definitely deserved to get his goal, and he's really, really growing into that jersey now and really becoming such an integral part of the team. But yeah, brilliant header at the back post, and just delighted to come out of there with a point after thinking that you've lost it. But yeah, I really hope that they can push on now, because they have to be looking at that game thinking it was actually there for us. If we put our foot on the ball a bit more, if we had a bit more confidence to kind of continue to push forward and look for that second goal, the game could have been 2-3-0, because Spurs really were lacking confidence. Even it was only a couple of minutes before they'd scored the first goal that they really looked like that they were in any way kind of a danger to United, and there should have been a kind of a moment in that where the players understood within that game, yeah, it's here for us, let's push on and let's get that second and let's kill the game. So I hope that they can kind of look back on that, and I hope that's what Amorim is kind of showing them this week as well, because from his perspective, he made an attacking change, and I don't think the players reacted to it. I think the players went into default of let's just hold on and try and soak up the pressure and try and pip this 1-0. So yeah, definitely a lesson to be learned there, I think, from a United perspective. As we speak at the minute as well, the league table not looking too bad for us. Currently sitting in 8th. A lot of teams are dropping points as well. The run of form that different teams have been on is really is crazy. So we'll see how the games go today with Liverpool and Bournemouth, who are both ahead of us, both playing. All of us on 18 points. We have Palace in behind as well. They're playing today. There's everything to play for there. There's a real opportunity for us to kind of keep the momentum of going unbeaten. Looking around, pretty much every team in and around us has lost within the last 5 at least once, and we haven't. And we haven't had that level of consistency in a long time. And there's a couple of games there where we definitely could have went on and actually won it. So they have to take a bit of confidence from that. And they have to continue to push on, and hopefully that's what they can do. But anyway, we move on. There's a lot of games coming up. Obviously, we have the international break as well, and then we have United back in action in the Premier League. So definitely a positive October and start to November. Could have been better, but definitely we'll take it. We'll take it, and we move on from here. But thank you very much for listening, and we will see you in the next one.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.